Greetings, War Thunderers. This is Longshot with you again, and in this video I'll be reviewing the Tier 1 G50 Freccia. This is the first monoplane fighter Italy developed, and as you can see, War Thunder gives us two to choose from. I haven't been able to find much difference other than their paintwork, so in this video I'll concentrate on the Series 2. The most important feature in these stats is the plane's armament of two 50 cal machine guns. Unfortunately, these breeder Safats had low muzzle velocity and a low rate of fire. So to maximise what hitting power the plane possesses, it's important to choose the best ammo belt. The default belt's absolutely useless, and looking through the other options I have to think that the tracer belt, full of APITs, is the most likely to be effective. We won't be chopping off wings in this plane. The best we can hope for is to get in close and set targets ablaze. So with that, it's time to take to the skies. The first thing I'll try is a simple boom and zoom. There's a hapless biplane with his eyes fixed on a target, which should be an easy prey. Now when I first tried this plane back in version 1.27, its elevators would lock up even in a shallow dive, sending you crashing to the ground. Thankfully it's improved a bit since then. And at close range its guns make short work of the biplane. So now for the zoom climb, which I started at 220 meters altitude and over 600 kilometers an hour. And after 20 seconds I've climbed 1500 meters at an astonishing 75 meters a second, which is not bad. In fact, I'd rate this as an above average climber. Not the best, but pretty good. Let's try the next target. I can adjust quite easily when the target breaks to the right. Further evidence that this plane has no control stiffening worth noting, but my bullets do very little damage, which is something you have to expect with the G50. As my base is under attack, I'll pull a lag displacement roll and engage the FTY again. So we'll see how this plane handles in a bit of a dogfight. Firing from 300 meters distance, I succeed in setting him on fire. Honestly, I wouldn't bother trying to shoot much further distance than that. And in the meantime, I've picked up a BF-110 on my tail. And I can easily outturn him. And then I roll over the top and lose him completely. And for a plane as agile as the BF-110 is, that's quite impressive. Also, my black wing doesn't appear to be affecting how the plane flies at all. Let's get nice and close and see if we can start another fire. The guns have a bit of a kick to them. You've got to fight to keep it on target if you're firing a steady stream. And even though this plane does seem to turn pretty well, I would not recommend getting into a dogfight with biplanes or some of the extremely good turning monoplanes such as Ki-43s, Ishaks, P-36s. They will fly circles around you. So in this domination game I'm flying over the enemy's home base and I'm going to boom and zoom through the middle of their furball, hoping to draw planes away in the opposite direction from the sea base in the middle of the map. Okay, let's see if that grabbed anyone's attention. So far no, so I'll climb and reset for another try. That's just AAA shooting at me. Actually, a MiG-3 is heading my way, so I'll see if I can engage him in a turn fight. Just pulling a snap roll to avoid his head-on, and now to try and get on his 6. He's diving away, so I'll continue on further away from his airbase to drag him away from the combat zone. Turn fight time. It turned a little too well there actually. And despite stuffing up the rudder a bit, I'm very quickly onto his tail. Given that the MiG-3 is actually not a turn fighter, it's a high altitude interceptor, that's not surprising. But someone else has crashed our party, by the look of it a P-36. Now I'll never outrun the P-36 or a MiG-3. But I should be able to fly some pretty good guns defense down at tree level. And going by the mini-map, I'm getting a bit of a kill train, which is fine by me. The more fighters chase my plane, the fewer there are to contest the sea base. And that was the whole aim of my diving over their airfield to begin with. Maybe I'm a bit weird, but I really do love treetop evasion. Gives me more of an adrenaline buzz than most other things in this game. And I do wish this plane had cannon. As you can see, a Lag 3's joined in as well. Okay, I'll see now if I can pull a snap roll stall spin to make them overshoot. And no, the plane just hangs in the air. Well, that's not a move you'll try with this plane. You're just asking to get shot, so that's good to know. And by the looks of it, I picked up a Chaika or a Nishak as well. So, time to get moving again. Now, even though the plane's taken quite a lot of damage now, and continues to take more, it's still handling pretty well. Wants to fall to the right hand side a bit, but it's quite manageable. Looks like that last enemy's being peeled off my tail. And yes, he's gone. So the battle's just about over as well. So that's a good example of how to help your team without directly killing the enemy. And also on how well this plane can survive a lot of enemies on its tail. So in the next battle, I'll try some more things. Although this plane's agile, I've had no luck in furball situations where it's outturned by more agile planes than this. So what else can it do though besides boom and zoom? Well, how about taking a Stuka down at altitude? Surely you can manage that. Particularly one that's not paying any attention. Oh no, I'm just tickling it by the looks of things. That was pretty ordinary. I had half an hour to get the kill there before he woke up and dived away, but my noodle shooters couldn't do it. Here's a climbing buffalo. I should be able to deal with him, surely. He's not showing my plane any respect at all. I wonder why. Might have something to do with the stream of the confetti that I'm shooting at him. No, he's completely ignoring me. How rude. Fortunately, I'm playing arcade, not realistic battles, and I get to reload and try again. When you're flying an underrated plane like this, People often ignore you because they don't respect your plane, or they'll carelessly attack you for the same reason, thinking you're an easy kill. Once again, getting as close as possible. And there we go. That'll teach him. So what's next? How about a PBY? Seriously, all I need to do though is set one of its engines on fire, because it'll have no hope of putting it out. So how hard can it be? So I just want to keep making a series of passes from above and from the side, just not sitting behind its tail. Certainly taking a while. Another gunner locked out. Did I kill the gunner, or did I lull him to sleep? At last. I think next time I'll bring a BF-110 for this job, or maybe a Lag 3 with rockets. So yes, a G50 can kill a bomber. I just wouldn't recommend it. So I've tried boom and zoom. I know not to go into a furball. That leaves energy fighting. Let's give that a go. There's some fighters. I'll see if anyone's interested in climbing up at me. That F2A certainly appears to be. So I'll bank around, keep an eye on him and drain his energy as he climbs. I'm not going down to him. I want him well away from the spawn point. The MC200 looks like he's climbing up as well. So this should be fun. In a turn fight situation, I believe this plane is more than a match for either of them. But two together might be a different matter. Anyway, it's time for an attack run on the F2A. Seems like he's close to stall. He's got enough maneuvering speed to break away. So I'll zoom, climb and repeat. I could potentially have stayed and dogfighted both of them, but I have an energy advantage. I may as well make the most of it. I don't expect it to last forever, simply because that F2A, I'm not sure about the MC200, but the F2A can definitely outclimb me. This time it's the MC200 who looks like he's near stall speed. And that's not very good, just more confetti. This time I'm extending away before I gently ease it up into a climb, just to make sure that they can't get guns on me easily. And to keep as much speed as possible going into the climb. Even so, there's not a lot of height between me and then, so I'll need to hammerhead over with the rudder as I stall. And this might be my last opportunity to use my energy advantage. 2 criticals only. If my 50 cals were Brownings or Berezins, both those planes would be dead after that pass. As it is, all I can do now is extend away and see if I can outrun them. And surprisingly, neither of them is even keeping pace with me, so perhaps I did some engine damage, I don't know. In fact, the 200's diving off, and then the F2A peels off as well. Just skipping forward a bit, the F2A continued to dive and crash somewhere. There we go. Now it looks like the MC200 might be landing, so the chances are I did manage to kill engines. But nevertheless, with decent guns, they would have both been finished off on that last pass. So, I can't let the MC200 get away with repairing. There's no other fighters around. I may as well go on a strafing run. But I'm coming in way too hot. Even so, the plane rolls extremely well. But my angle of approach is just too steep and too fast. I'm only going to get a shot at him for a briefest of seconds. And it wasn't enough. No other planes around, so I may as well try again. Just about out of fuel. Taking a hit to the fuel tank. And it's gone, so my engine is now dead. But I'm taking him down with me. So while I land this thing, I'll recap the main features of the G50 Freccia. Its engine power and acceleration are low. Its dive speed and energy retention are decent, and it climbs well. Its agility is very good. Its firepower is poor, but it can be effective at close range. It's a pretty tough plane as well. So in summary, it's not as bad a plane as most people believe. It's not great at any one thing. It's a bit of a jack of all trades. Really, only its hitting power lets it down. And in its own way, it's a lot of fun to fly. Well, I hope the video's been helpful and that you've enjoyed it. I'll see you in the next one.